everyone. In this video, we are going to solve word problems on system of equations using two methods. The methods that we're going to use today would be tabular method and algebraic method, or pretty much like in algebraic method specifically it's called equal values method. This is the second part. I will put the link of the first part in the description box below. Let's have the first problem here. Two huge tanks are to be filled with water. Tank A has an initial 15 gallons of water and is filled at a rate of 3 gallons per minute. So we're going to draw the table first. We're going to have the first method right here. So I'm going to have first method. I'm going to label that up here. So our first method is using a table. So it says here that it's 15 gallons of water and it's filled at a rate of 3 gallons per minute. So I'm going to draw the table for tank A. So this is labeled tank A right here. So I'm going to create the table. This is for the minutes, so that's the number of minutes, which will be our x. Again, this is part of this. X will be the number of minutes as part of the problem. And then the other row that we have here would be for the number of gallons, which is actually the y. That's what it says right here. So this would be our y. And then we're going to divide this into columns. This is gonna be 0, 1 minute, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 minutes. Now we are going to fill this in. It says that initially it has 15 gallons. So at 0 minutes, originally it has already 15 gallons on it. Now it says that this is to be filled at a rate of 3 gallons per minute. That means we're adding 3 each time. So that's going to be added 3 gallons each time. So I'm just going to put all 3 here. That means to get the value to the next cell, we are going to add 3. So 15 plus 3 would be 18. 18 plus 3 is 21. 21 plus 3 is 24. And then 24 plus 3 is 27. 27 plus 3 is 30. And then 30 plus 3 is 34. You can have you can still create more columns for this, but let's stop on 6 minutes. Now we are going to do tank B. So I'm just gonna create another separate column for tank B. So it's gonna be just one row. Okay, so for this case right here, it says that in tank B is empty. Empty means at 0 minutes, it has 0 gallons on it. And then the next condition that we have here is that it is filled at a rate of 8 gallons per minute. So that means we are adding 8 each time. So that would be plus 8. And then all the rest of them would still be added by 8. So I'm just going to add 8 to each of them. So plus 8, and then this is plus 8, and this is also plus 8. So I added 8 each time. Now, what are we going to do is we fill this in. So 0, that's going to be 0 plus 8 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 8 is 24. 24 plus 8 is 32. 32 plus 8 is 40. 40 plus 8 is 48. Now, we can already get the answer to this. Looking at the answers that we have, the question that we have here is that how many minutes does it take for the two tanks to have the same volume? The same volume means they have equal number of gallons of water inside it. So we are going to look for that value, their y. Remember that this represents gallons, by the way, for tank B. So this is y. So we're going to look for the same value for y. So if we look at this value here, they're not the same at 0 minute. They're not the same in the first minute. They're not the same on the second minute. But look at this. They're both 24 on the third minute. So that means this is where our y would be equal each other. And that value or that minute is 3. So then we can go ahead and write the answer to this. It's gonna be it takes 3 minutes. So it takes 3 minutes for the two tanks to have the same volume, and that volume of water is actually 24 gallons. Okay, now let's have the second method for this. Again, this is the first method. We are using the table in order that we can determine the answer to this problem. Now, the second method is using the algebraic method. So I'm just gonna label that up here. So this is the second method here. So for the second method, we are supposed to write the equation in the form y equals mx plus b to each of these cases. So we're gonna have the y equals mx plus b for tank A. So let's take tank A first. So remember that our m is the slope, that means how much it grows by, and the b is the starting point, or this is the value of y, or this is the y-intercept, or the value of y when the x is 0. So in the first problem that we have here, the equation that would work for tank A would be y equals, our slope is the growth factor, which is 3. So that would be 3x plus the starting value when the x is 0 is 15. So this would be the equation that would work for tank A. For tank B, we do the same thing. That would be y equals, the slope is the growth factor, how much was added each time. So that's 8x, and then plus the b, or the starting value, is 0. So you don't need to write the 0 on that one. That should be fine. So then from here, we can go ahead and use the equal values method, since we know that y is equal to y, because both of them have y on them on the left side of the equation. So then we can go ahead and say that these two equations here, 3x plus 15, 8x plus 0, are equal each other. So then we can go ahead and write 3x plus 15 is equal to 8x. Again, you can write the 0. You don't have to write the 0. That should be fine. So we're going to solve for x here. So minus 8x and minus 8x. So then we are left with, so we can cross this out. So that is negative 5x plus 15 equals 0. So then we want x by itself, so minus 15 minus 15. So then we are left with negative 5x equals negative 15. To solve for x, we divide both sides by negative 5, divide this by negative 5, we can cross that out. So then our x is 3. Now it says that x is the number of minutes, so we can go ahead and write 3 minutes. So this is the number of minutes it takes for the two tanks to have the same volume. Now, if we are asked, what is this volume? We have concluded that it was 24 based on the table. That means in 3 minutes, we already have filled the tank up to 24 gallons. But how do we prove that using the algebraic method, or using the second method? So what we do is we can pick one of the equations that we have here. It doesn't matter which of these two. So but let's pick the first one. So that's y is equal to 3x plus 15. So then I go ahead and say 3 parentheses plus 15. Inside this parentheses would be the x, which is 3. So I'm going to put that in there. So that would be equal to 9 plus 15. So our y is equal to 24. Now, it says here that the y is the number of, the gallons of water. So I can go ahead and say this is 24 gallons. So then both methods give the same answer in terms of how many minutes does it take to have 24 or equal volume. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem here. So two gym companies charges their members as follows. Gym A requires $30 registration fee and $20 monthly fee. So let's take the first method right here. So I'm just gonna have method 1, which is the tabular method. So we are looking at the first gym, so gym A. So in here we can, again, we create the table. So I'm just gonna write months here, which is the X. And it says here that the Y is the total cost. So this would be cost here. and represented as y. So we start with 0 month, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So then from here, we go through the conditions for the first gym. It requires $30 for registration fee. So I'm just going to start with 30 on 0 month. So you have to pay upfront $30. It says that the monthly fee would be 20. So that means we're adding 20 each time. So that's going to be plus 20, plus 20, and then this one as well, that would be plus 20. So 30 plus 20 is gonna be 50. 50 plus 20 is 70. 70 plus 20 is 90. 90 plus 20 is 110. 110 plus 20 is 130. Now let's look at gym B. So I'm gonna write gym B. It's again, this is the total cost, which is represented as y. So let's go over the conditions for the second gym. It requires 90 registration fee. So at 0 month, you have to pay upfront $90. And it says that we're adding, we are maintaining monthly fee would be $10. So we're adding 10 each time. So that's going to be plus 10 to each of this cell. So that's going to be, this is a 90 plus 10 is 100. 100 plus 10 is 110. 110 and plus 10 is 120. 120 plus 10 is 130. 130 plus 10 is 140. Now let's look for that value of y, or let's look for that x value such that the y is the same for both gyms. So this is 30 and 90, no. 50 and 100, it's not the same. 70 and 110, they're not the same. 90 and 120 is not the same. 110 and 130 is not the same. 130 and 140 is not the same. Now others are going to think like, oh, that's 130 and 130. They're not in the same column, so they have to match up on the same column. So these two are not equal because they're not coming from the same column. So if in any case you run into this kind of problem that you created the table and you did not get equal values for y, what are you going to do is you can add more columns. So let's add another column right here to see if they would be equal each other. Again, that's the tip. If it doesn't come out the same, you can add more columns. So in here, I'm gonna have 6. That's gonna be on the 6th month. So this would be another plus 20, and this one is plus 10. So then plus 130 plus 20 would be 150, and 140 plus 10 is 150. As you can see, both of these y values are the same at 150, and that month is 60. So then the question that we have here is that determine how many months it takes for the two options to have the same cost. So in this problem right here, it takes, so I'm just gonna write it here, it takes 6 months for the two options to have the same total cost, which is at $150. So you don't have to add more because we already got it. So the second method that we're gonna have here, again, this is the first method right here. The second method is using the algebraic method. So that's method 2 right here. We are going to create an equation in the form y equals mx plus b, or this is the slope-intercept form. So again, remember that the m here is the slope. How much does it grow by? B is the y-intercept, or the starting value, or the value of y when x is 0. So looking at this first gym right here, that would be y equals, its growth factor is 20. So I'm just going to write 20x plus the starting value is 30. So that would be 20x plus 30. For the second gym, that would be y equals m is the growth factor. We're adding 10 each time, so I'm going to write 10x plus the starting value is 90. So these are the two equations, and we're ready to plug this into the equal values method using the we're ready to do the equal values method for this. So y is equal to y. Both of them are y on the left side. So then we can go ahead and say 20x plus 30 is actually equal to 10x plus 90. So we want to solve for x by itself. So we're going to subtract 10x from both sides minus 10x. So we are left with, that's going to be 10x plus 30 is equal to 90. So we subtract 30 from both sides minus 30. So then we are left with 10x is equal to 60. Then we want x by itself. So we divide 10 from both sides, divide 10. So then we go ahead and say that our x is 6. And say we know that x is the number of months. So that means this is 6 months. And it makes sense in the tabular method that we did a while back, because in here they both have they both have, it should not be there, it's right here. So they both have 150. So they both have 150 at 6 months. So it's not this one. So let me take that off. It's not that one. So it's this one right here. So on the 6 months, it's going to be both 150. And then we can go ahead and determine, does it really come out 150 for the total cost for both of them? So that would be, we plug in the value of x to any of these, that would work. So let's take the second equation right here. So y is equal to 10x plus 90. So that would be y is equal to 10 times our x is, we put it in parentheses first, so that's plus 90. So the x again is 6, so I'll put that in there. So that is y is equals to 60 plus 90. So y is 150. It says that our y is the total cost. So we can go ahead and write this as $150. And it matches up with this that we have here. So both of them are at 150. Did you get the same answers as this? Good. Perfect. If you find this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!